old adage that learning to build instruments is the skill of 1,000 steps. They're incredibly complicated machines. Visually, they may not look like it, but the inside of a guitar is a very well engineered and complicated piece of machinery to build. Now I'm staring down the barrel at 50. Furniture has been great. It's kept me afloat. It's kept a roof over my head. But, you know, it's hard and it's a grind. And I was tired of chasing clients and trying to hunt down work. And I thought, if I don't do this now, I never will. So I just kind of threw caution to the wind and started cutting up pieces of wood. And I've been very lucky that the very first guitars that I built are guitars that I play. This is 90% of it. This is where the art in shaping the sound of the guitar, the bulk of it lies. You're looking for a level of stiffness that prevents the guitar from imploding on itself. You've got 180 pounds of tension pulling this way, 160 pounds, pulling this way, pushing down here, lifting up here. And the braces prevent this from just imploding. The problem is, the more braces you add, the more you impede the top from vibrating. It's a physics game, essentially. And what I'm looking for here is a consistent tone, consistent pitch that rings evenly no matter where I hit the backside. What I can do is I can thin that brace down. Townsend Guitar Company is almost a year old. We have 3 very unique products. We have our own electric guitar design. We have an electric bass design that are completely unique. And we are doing a very innovative manner of construction with our acoustic guitars. I do feel like the 20 years that I spent as a furniture builder have absolutely prepared me to hit the ground with my feet running when it comes to, you know, the individual skills involved in building a guitar. The shaping, the breaking of corners, the meticulous detail, that kind of stuff. I started on the violin when I was 4 years old, started on the piano when I was 7, and I just thought rock and roll was the coolest thing in the world. So I begged and begged for a guitar, and when I was 12, I got one. I've never been somebody that just came easily. It's taken a lot of practice to gain what modicum of competency that I have. I had a pretty sound background in music, at least for a 12-year-old, but the mechanics of the guitar was completely foreign to me. But it was something that I was just so enthusiastic about that it wasn't hard to find time to practice. Just hours would disappear and I'd be sitting on the edge of my bed playing guitar before I knew it was time to go to bed. I graduated from OU in 1998 and I started grad school at Kent State studying physiology. And at the time, this great little club opened up called Muggs, and I was just tending bar. And after my shift, I would go and sit at a table by myself at Muggs and watch these phenomenal guitar players just tear it up. And that was a time in my life where I wasn't really sure which direction I wanted to go. So I kind of threw caution to the wind and threw everything I had at studying the guitar, learning musical theory, learning as much as I possibly could. I was in several successful bands and I got to see a large part of the country and had some really great times. I walked away from music. When I turned 30, I walked away from it completely. I didn't practice at home. I was just kind of burnt out all the time on the road with the band. And a friend of mine, really accomplished furniture maker named Gabe Sutton, gave me a job, part-time job, just sweeping up the shop and running the planer or whatever little menial tasks that needed done. And that's when I first conceptualized the idea of building a guitar. I recognized pretty quickly that I didn't have the skill set to do it and that it was far more complicated than I had anticipated. I was always that kid that would take things apart and figure out how they worked. And when I discovered that putting 2 pieces of wood together is not as easy as using a hammer and nails, that it requires a lot of intricacy, a lot of detail, a lot of patience and practice, I was really just fascinated by the whole mechanics of the whole thing. And the more I learned, the more interesting I found it, the more challenged I was. I would say that all the passion I had for music, I transferred completely to design and to woodworking, and I subsisted on it for the next 2 decades. And I found that if I applied the lessons that I'd learned early in my musical career about learning how to learn and applied that same concentration to woodworking, I was able to practice different joinery, practice different techniques, and improve my skill set, just like if I were practicing guitar. I really want to cater to the musicians that are local, the people that are out there playing nightly, people who are passionate about music, and keep it here, keep it in Cleveland. So since I started my career as a woodworker 2 decades ago, it's very rare that I don't wake up excited to get to the shop. For me, that reward is so much more important than anything else. I can't buy that.